AI project, and this module is a SQL relational database system. So in this video, I'll be demonstrating how I created a database table that has a relationship and perform CRUD operations, execute join queries, and also combine tables. And then also how I was able to use the aggregate function for analytics and filter some of my data by range. So first of all, we want to look at my database architecture and the file overview. And as you can see here, we have two Python files. We have the database file, which contains all the logic and functions that I have created to enable me manage the database. And then we have the main Python file, which is actually a demonstration file that I've created to help us demonstrate the various operations that I'll be showing today in this video. And I also have my README file here. Let's quickly look at my database schema. If you look at my database schema, you see here that I have two tables. I have the student, I have the students table, which I have the following data: the student ID, which serves as the primary key. Then I also have names, email, and the date this entry was created as part of the data as I collected. And then in the submission table, which is my second table, I have the submission ID, which is also the primary key for the submissions that each of the students will make. Then I have the student ID 2, which functions as the foreign key that is linking these two tables together. And other data that I also collected includes question, answers, scores, and submission date. So that's that for the data schema. So we'll now go straight to my demonstration. So I'll quickly, I'm already in the directory that I need to use to work. So I'll run here now. I'll quickly try to run my main file. So, okay. So thank you. So here we see it's still running. So I'll quickly, so what has happened here is that my main file, this is my database module demo that I have, like I said earlier. And so my main file has created a table of 4 students and 6 submissions, as you can see. And each of these tables and submissions have their various unique IDs. And so that's for the creating of the tables. And then look at the read operations. So in the read operations, so if I was performing this physically, what has happened here is that we've been able to retrieve student submissions and data. And so these 4 students and these 6 submissions, and so these are the submissions that they have made, as you can see here. So the read operation was able to retrieve all the students in the database according to their unique ID, their names, their email, and the date those submissions were created. And then specifically, if we want to look for a specific student, so using the ID, we are able to retrace this specific student to student 1, which is Alice Johnson, and with this email and the date it was created. So that's for that. And then we can also haven't updated this email, this new email for this student. We can now use the join query operation to add these two data together. And by so doing, we have the former table that was created added to the new table that was recently created, as you can see here. And then using the aggregate function, we are able to also calculate score for individual students. So for the update operations, like I said, we are able to modify the students and the submission data. To 97 from the initial submission score that it had before. Initially it was 90 and it has been updated to 97. Right, so for the delete operations, although we have so delete operations enables us to be able to remove data from our database, and in this case we're deleting the database for submission ID 5 and having deleted that, you look at the remaining table here and you see that we no longer have the student with ID number 5 here because it has been deleted. So the process has been committed that to preserve the data for the join demo. And so for the join query, we want to combine the students and the submission tables together. And so this is the query here that we are using to combine both the submission table and the student table. And as you can see, here is the students table and here is the submission table. So in the submission table, we have the scores here. And then in the student table, from the student table, we have the names here. So this has enables us to be able to combine these two together into one table. So that is that for the join table. And so for the aggregate function, which we use for the statistic and analytical analysis, we are able to get the total submission for a particular student using the student with the ID number 1, calculate the average score, the highest score that the student had, and then the lowest score. And then for the class statistics also, we are also able to use our aggregate function to get the total class statistics for the individual student. And then also we are able to use our our filter by range to determine the latest submission